Hebrews. This is our non-Messianic conversation, Monday night class, the 19th of April, 2021. I'm asking everybody to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. So, with that being said, I was gonna let everybody know I enjoyed that 2 days of advanced Bible study. I don't know if anybody else got anything out of it.
Yes, it was awesome.
Good.
Okay.
Very good. Yes, indeed.
So, whenever we get ready to have another one, I'm gonna try to post it a couple of weeks before time so to see if it'll build up. Um, so we're gonna do our moment of silence, and then for all that the Lord of Hosts is doing, uh, orchestrating our delivery and our regathering. Then we do a prayer and psalms and go into current event. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face, looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David and Solomon and Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For you possess the power to turn us, O Lord. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord. Hide not thy face from us. We need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. We're going to read the Psalms. Find my Bible. Okay. Read some. Oh, Lord. Okay, we're going to skip that for right now. We're going to go into current events. Anybody got any current events? Anybody got a current event? Okay. I got a couple. The first one I got is, and I don't know if anybody know what's going on with Maxine Waters. The little Republican, the lady that they were trying to put her out of the Senate because she had came in there with a gun. She said she was going to come into the Senate chamber with a gun holstered on her side, and it was and she started quoting all these conspiracy theories and all that. So they were trying to get her out of the Green. They were trying to get her out of the Senate. So she came around, turned back around, and said that she asked him for Maxine Waters to be put out of the house because of what she did, the comments she made with, about the trial with George Floyd. So I'm gonna do it right here. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. Okay. So Nancy Pelosi stepped in and she said, Nancy Pelosi says Maxine Waters should absolutely not apologize for the confrontational comment. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told reporters on Monday that Representative Maxine Waters has no reason to apologize for the comments she made in Minnesota that resulted in backlash from the Republicans. They look for anything they can do. Okay, so again it goes on to say Waters was accused of inciting violence after telling demonstrators protesting police brutality in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, where a 20-year-old black man was shot and killed by the police officer, that they need to get more confrontational in the fight for police reform. Pelosi staunchly rejected the idea of saying that Waters' comments were appropriate in the content they were used. No, Maxine talked about confrontations in a manner of civil rights movements. Pelosi said, "I myself think we should take our lead from George Floyd family They've handled this with great dignity and no ambiguity or lack of misinterpretation by the other side. No, I think that she should. I think she should apologize. Okay. See what's happening with this. Okay. So he goes on to say Pelosi response comes as the jury deliberates in the trial of former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin in Florida's death. House Speaker and Leader Kevin McCarthy of California responded that he would act if Pelosi did not punish Waters. Okay. Is there some? Any comments? Anybody know anything about this?
Yeah, I just was watching it right before we came online. They was talking about that on CNN.
Right.
But Don Lemon was saying that they know Maxine Waters don't mean no harm. She don't want violence to come to anyone. She's only just voicing her opinion because she's tired of what has been happening to the Black people lately.
Right. Yeah, they just scrambling. They're scrambling for anything they can get. If you notice, they try to compare this to what Trump did. They try to remember they say Trump incited the January 6th riot, so they trying to say Maxine Waters incited these people to do something.
Right.
Anything they can.
Right.
So check this out. Like I said, when you understand where this came from, the Hollywood and all that, it's come from the Greeks. They was doing propaganda way back in the day, So check this out. Let me get out of this. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna look at this. Okay. And so we know, like they were saying, that situation says that they at the point now, just so happened, all this happened at the timing. Maxine Waters did this. Now they deliberating for this Chauvin case. So it says judge denies Calvin's defense motion for a mistrial, right? But says Maxine Waters, come on now, comments could lead to this whole case being overthrown. So what Maxine Waters did gonna cause Calvin to get off.
Right.
Look at this. So Derek Chauvin defense cited comments from the U.S. Representative Maxine Waters in a motion for a mistrial. Over this weekend, Waters called on protesters to stay on the streets if there was no guilty verdict. Judge Peter Carhill denies the motion, but says Waters may have given the defense a successful appeal. Okay, so.
Now they know how to play that game, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Everything
they pros it.
Everything for them and none for Yah.
Right.
Everything for them and none for the children of the Most High. Nothing.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. Because we know what the end gonna be, don't we?
Right. Exactly.
So they can just run on because we'll meet them down there and it'll be over.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
They setting the stage already.
Yeah. They done had their way. It's been their day. We've been a squirrel trying to get a nut, and they've just been, having at it any kind of way they want it. But in the end, it ain't gonna matter. All that they did was for nothing.
Right. So what do you think about Emmett Till's family teaming up with George Floyd's family?
Yeah, they thought to me it's always changed. Yeah.
I think they all need to team up if you ask me.
Yeah, they was just showing that too. Emmett Till's cousin and George Floyd brother was on CNN.
Yeah. Okay. That's so. Right.
So we can be expecting something crazy to happen because they don't already deploy the National Guard.
Yeah, so they let you know they already know what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, but they knew they knew the Capitol was going to happen. Did they deploy the National Guard? Oh no, didn't do
No,
that.
they sure didn't.
Ain't that something?
Yes.
Yeah, it says 2 nights before the jury begins deliberating in the Derek Chauvin murder trial, U.S. Representative Maxine Waters visited Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, and called on protesters to stay on the streets and get more confrontational if there is no guilty verdict. On Monday, the 5 Minneapolis police officers' defense cited those words to call for a mistrial. Defense attorney Eric Nelson says Waters' comments over the weekend, paired with recent Chauvin's content in several fictional TV shows, further his earlier argument that the judge should have sequestered the jury and ordered them to avoid all media throughout the trial. So we'll say, yeah, it's all a setup.
Yeah, it's just a setup.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
You get some?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's not like she went down to the courthouse where he having a free trial at in
Right.
time. She way somewhere else. Not that it's far, but still, she's somewhere else.
Right.
You know what? They can say anything and do anything they want to.
Right.
But when we speak out, use our freedom of speech, oh, that's going to be a mistrial because she said da 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 da.
Is there some?
They ain't nothing but the devil.
Is there some? Man. So here we go. This is the last one for the current event. So check this out.
So listen, man, like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, hit the notification so you know every time I drop a video. But if you're on YouTube, look below this post, you will see some sweaters, you will see some hats, shirts. We even got baby onesies. Go ahead, order you some deal, man. Everything y'all order goes right back into what we gonna spread this message. Now listen, very closely. Listen. Told y'all it was coming. Told y'all it was coming. I warned y'all. For those who didn't listen, I'm gonna show you a video. This is gonna blow your mind. And I'm telling y'all how all this ties in to social media and different apps and different stuff. Check this out. It's happening in China right now, and it's gonna start happening over here in the US. With no further ado, check this video out. Watch it all the way to the end. Because I got a couple things I want to go over with y'all. You don't want to miss this. Check this out.
Me using my face to get into a convenience store in China where you can buy food through facial recognition technology. Using your face to buy food is already a reality. Here's one system that KFC and Chinese search engine giant Baidu implemented in China. KFC's system even remembers your face and food preferences so it can better recommend you new products. Much like KFC, this convenience store we visited in the city of Shenzhen has partnered with the tech giant, in this case, the payment app WeChat Pay, to create an experimental face-to-food experience. The store, Zhouheya, encourages people to play and pay with facial recognition technology. With just your face and a simple thumbs up, the system will deduct money from your linked WeChat account. Taking my mobile payment, my facial recognition juice. I don't get this. Watch the Oscars live on ABC with YouTube TV. Try it free. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought about your blood flow? Redwood uses just a few simple, completely natural ingredients to increase your body's nitric oxide production. This in turn lowers your blood pressure and increases the rate. This may feel very dystopian, but facial recognition has apparently been a welcomed advancement in big cities in China.
So in China, the facial recognition is quite popular. In some scenarios, we try those face recognition techniques. So you don't have need to bring your mobile phone anymore. You simply show up and you take things away and it will directly be deducted from your account.
To grasp how close China is to making facial recognition a reality, you first have to understand how close they already are to being a cashless society. Much of this has to do with WeChat Pay and its competitor Alipay, which both use QR codes to complete transactions. According to Professor Yang, in 2017, mobile payment transactions in China added up to 20 trillion US dollars, almost double China's annual GDP. WeChat is what's known as a super app. You can send money, text friends, make dinner reservations, and much more all in one space. And this makes WeChat indispensable to everyday life.
即係話我哋咧，大部分人都係用緊微信。微信支付咧係一個好神奇嘅嘢。
This is my cousin, a Shenzhen native, and I roped him in to give us his perspective on how ubiquitous WeChat has become.
我平時出去都唔帶銀包噶啦，銀包太大隻啦，冇手機咁方便。我手機可以代替到銀包所有功能。
QR codes, WeChat Pay, and Alipay have become the norm.
你可以喺路邊停車嘅時候交費，或者你甚至可以處理你嘅交通違法。
These payment apps are so powerful that they have the potential to replace banks for the users.
For example, you can put money on your WeChat app. If I press this, they will evaluate your credit profile.
This amount is the equivalent of an $8,000 loan. WeChat has become so ubiquitous in China that many people prefer it to traditional banking, despite these loans being backed by actual financial institutions. Analysts in China predict that about 40% of those transaction fees could go to payment apps like WeChat by 2020, leaving China's banks in a scramble.
The banks are annoyed because they only see numbers of money goes to Alibaba, go to WeChat. Those bank senior officials talk to me, considering different ways of how to compete with those new institutions. And so far, they don't come up with very good ideas, but we're still trying.
With the wide use of QR codes and mobile payment apps, Professor Yang sees facial recognition as the obvious next step. The convenience is just the silver lining in what could be a sophisticated form of mass surveillance. Already in Shenzhen, facial recognition is being used to catch jaywalkers. 3 fugitives were caught at massive concerts this year through facial recognition technology. And in the highly policed province of Xinjiang, facial recognition is used to track Muslim Uyghurs.
There's a rumor that China is the safest country in the world. In Shenzhen, when you walk in the street, you'll see a lot of cameras. It sounds like a police state, right? But in China, if you don't do anything wrong, what do you fear?
Traveling in China has become nearly impossible without the use of QR codes and mobile payment apps. And a future with facial recognition may not be that far off.
一般如果你而家係想用現金嘅話咧，喺一啲小鋪頭嗰度，你攞一張100蚊嘅出嚟，佢甚至冇散紙可以找你，係。
Is the price of convenience worth the huge loss in privacy? To leave us with some words from the late and great Prince, who gave this speech at the Yahoo Internet Life Awards in 1999.
Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you.
Now, listen, if you saw that video I just showed y'all, man, listen. If Snapchat didn't come to your mind when you first saw that video, you sleep. This is the whole purpose of these apps doing the face recognition, because as you saw in China, they got stores, fast food restaurants that has no employees, nobody there at the cash register, everything is face recognition. WeChat is the app that they use to do everything. WeChat is like PayPal, social media, Facebook, all in for one. You feel what I'm saying? But how this ties into a lot of these face recognition apps is, when most people get them apps, they don't read. Most of them, we don't read the, we just hit next, we agree. But basically what it is they got a 5,000 point system that goes across your whole face, and they store this data. You get what I'm saying? China is fully centralized right now. You get what I'm saying? They literally not using no cash. They literally just, now they paying with face recognition. You ain't got to have your phone. You just pull up, it scans your face, and then boom. One of the incidents I saw was a guy had jaywalk, right? He jaywalked. By the time he made it across the street, they had face recognition, face recognized him, who he was, find him, and went into his WeChat wallet and paid for the damn jaywalker ticket before he made it to the other end of the street. This is what's coming over here in America. Ain't no more privacy laws. And these the same people y'all be voting for. Well, I be telling y'all, man, you gotta be crazy if you're gonna play this game. It's all a game.
Okay. Any comments? Any comments? Okay. All right. So with that being said, like I was telling you about the about Africa and China, you know, China being America is the ninth incarnation of the four beasts. Four beasts transformed itself. It was the ninth. America was the ninth one. When they left Great Britain and came here, you know, it was ninth. Now what we witnessing is the 10th and final transformation of the four beasts, which is China. So with that being said, we already know what's going on in Africa with the Rolling Belt Initiative. So check this out. This is suspect too.
Jack Dorsey, founder and CEO of popular social media platform Twitter Incorporated, has confirmed the global giant company will establish its presence in Africa with a headquarters situated in Ghana. He made this known through a disclosure via Twitter earlier this week. Jack Dorsey wrote thanking Ghana and the country's president, Nana Akufo-Addo. This was reported as the social media company seeks to establish its presence in some of the world's fastest growing markets. Reacting to the news following a virtual meeting held between Ghana's President Akufo-Addo and Jack Dorsey on April 7, the president said the decision to set up a headquarters is critical for Ghana's development in the technology sector. According to the president of Ghana, the choice of Ghana as headquarters for Twitter's Africa operations is excellent news. The government and Ghanaians welcome very much this announcement and the confidence reposed in our country. He confirmed that his virtual meeting on the 7th April with Jack Dorsey is the start of a beautiful partnership between Twitter and Ghana, which is critical for the development of Ghana's hugely important tech sector. These are exciting times to be in and to do business in Ghana. In a statement, Twitter says it is now actively building a team in Ghana to be more immersed in the rich and vibrant communities that drive the conversations taking place every day across the continent. Twitter indicated several roles from product and engineering to design, marketing and communications for job openings in the company. However, the company confirmed that individuals will fill these roles remotely, as Twitter makes plans to establish an office in the country later this year. According to Twitter, the decision to kick off its African expansion with Ghana stems from the country's dealings with the African Continental Free Trade Area and its openness towards the internet. The company also stated that, as a champion for democracy, Ghana is a supporter of free speech, online freedom, and the open internet, of which Twitter is also an advocate. Also, Ghana's recent appointment to host the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area aligns with their overarching goal to establish a presence in the region that will support their efforts to improve and tailor their service across Africa. The news comes almost 18 months after Dorsey's visit with his Twitter team to Africa for the first time in November 2019. During his tour on the continent, he visited Ghana, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and South Africa, where he met with different industry leaders and tech stakeholders on matters concerning Twitter and Bitcoin. Dorsey stated that he would return to the continent to live for 6 months in mid-2020, but the pandemic made sure that plan was soiled. Since then, not much was communicated by Dorsey or the Twitter team about the visit, although in September, the company subsequently made some health and cultural partnerships with local communities across the countries, such as Afrochella and the Hack Lab Foundation in Ghana, Amref Health Africa in Kenya, and Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative in Nigeria. Twitter, which was founded in 2006, is an American microblogging and social networking service on which users post and interact with messages known as tweets. The company has over 330 million monthly active users and generated over $3.7 billion in revenue in 2020. StatCounter figures estimated that 11.7% of people in Africa have an account with Twitter, as compared with over 59% of African internet users who have Facebook accounts. The move by Twitter to set up its headquarters in Ghana shows the company's determination to tap into the huge market potential of the continent. If you enjoyed this video and want more updates about informative and trending news in Africa, make sure to subscribe to join the New Africa family. Thanks for watching.
Okay. So you see how they synchronizing everything?
Mm-hmm.
Lining it all up. So the last thing is to get us out of here. Once they set everything up, is then something gonna all of a sudden the reparations and all that's gonna go through, and then we out of here. It's being set up right in front of our face. Okay. Yeah. So so like I said, Baboon can see that it's happening. We're doing everything. All of a sudden, like I said, this right here, this guy Dorsey over in Ghana, like I said, it let you know what's up with the guy, the president over Ghana, and you don't hear Dr. Alcana say anything about Twitter over in Ghana. She's supposed to be in the know. I ain't heard her say nothing. Anybody else?
No, I haven't.
Right. So I mean, she's supposed to be knowing all this stuff. You mean you don't know that you didn't get no heads up on Twitter? It's gonna set his main office up in Ghana.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I say, you can pretty much figure out who's who by just paying attention. Yeah. So I think this was Saturday night, maybe after I finished doing what I was doing online. I came across this video. I'm gonna play it and we're gonna break it down because I think it's important. Let me play it. And like I said, I'll stop it in the sections and for anybody have any comments. Name of it is Non-Messianics as well as Messianics. It's time to kill the false doctrine with simple scriptures. Okay.
Israel, all praises go to the Most High Yahuwah and his son, the Lion of Yehuda,
and his son,
the Hamashiach, Yahusha. I'm your servant, Asher Yahu. Another video, quick video in English. And I'm going to take these 15-20 minutes to hit two things, all right? First, well, today I'm going to be dealing with some non-Messianics, with the non-Messianic believers, non-Messianic. And I'm also going to be dealing with a point with my Messianic brothers. Okay, so my non-Messianic brothers and my Messianic brothers. And this is what it is. I've gotten a few private emails, which I respect. And I've also gotten some comments on another video. I actually took it down because I realized that I made a mistake, but I should be putting it back up soon because I'm redoing it. Anyways, the comment read that worshiping Yahusha was worshiping an idol. And that wasn't the only one. I got a few others that practically said the same thing. Okay, so for you guys, I have a question and also a statement. And for my Messianic brothers, the same thing as well. I got another comment, and we're going to kill this nonsense right now. I'm done, per se, trying to be agreeable, and I'm still going to be cordial no matter what, because you're my brothers and sisters, but it's time to shut people down. It's time to shut people down straight up, using their own books, their own doctrines. It's time to shut you down. Okay, now after this, okay, I'm not going to answer any more questions in regards to Yahusha, okay, being the Hamashiach and the Savior to the non-Messianics. And I will stop answering foolishness to my brothers that believe in Yahusha and say only Israel will be saved. Because that's the thing with the brothers that believe in the Messiah, okay, that a lot of them say that only Israel will be saved. Okay, so we're going to use simple logic. I'm not going to use too much scripture, okay, because these scriptures will be backed up by simple logic. Okay, so for my non-Messianic brothers, here it is. Proverbs 30:4. Who has ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fist? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? We all know that only one did that, okay, and that's the Most High, okay? But here's the question to you, non-Messianic believers. What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? This is not talking about King David and Solomon, because they did not establish all the ends of the earth. They didn't. Only one established the end of the earth. But it's funny, okay, how it says that they established who? You're saying who established the end of the earth, but then at the end it's telling you what is his name and what is his son's name. Verse 5, it says, every word of the Most High is pure. Okay? So with that, I'm going to go and find my two verses that'll back that up. Okay? I'm gonna find my verses that'll testify to what I just read. One is in Genesis. I don't even have to tell you which one it is because everybody knows it. And that is, let us create men. Let us create men. Okay? Let us create men in our image. In our image. Later in Genesis, if I'm not mistaken, it's chapter 12. Let us,
if he's not mistaken, I'll let you know what's up with him right there.
Descend and confuse their languages so that they don't do what they have already made up their mind to do, which was to build the Tower of Babel. Let us descend and languages. So with that, I ask you a question. Who is that talking about? And this is the Old Testament. So tell me who Proverbs 30:4 is talking about. I don't need Isaiah, okay, as my witness that Yahusha is the Messiah. I don't need it. I have that verse and I got the other two verses I just gave you. But just in case you want to keep kicking against this, do a study of Ezekiel chapter 40 through.
Okay, we're gonna deal with this first. He went to I don't know if nobody else there yet, but go to Proverbs 30, verse 4. You got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It says, who have ascended up into heaven or descended, who have gathered the wind in his fist, who have bound the waters in the garment, who have established all the ends of the earth. What is his name, and what is his son's name, that thou can tell? So my question to anybody out there, who talking? Who talking right there in verse 4?
And that is that I'm sure. That's never mind. I thought that was Job.
What's that?
Never mind. I thought that was Job. Never mind.
Nah, it ain't Job, but Job is Job is pagan just like this is pagan. But if you go back to verse 1, verse 1,
Yes.
the words of Agar, the son of Jacob, I can't say his name, even the prophecy, the man spake unto Ithal, even unto Ithal and Ucal. Is any one of them people right there Israelites?
They don't look familiar.
They ain't no Israelites. Man, if you look at it, just really look at it, them the same names you see with the giants. So the person that's talking is the guy Agar. They ain't no Israelite. So that's how they operate. The son, the gods have sons. Zeus got sons, and where they deal with everything, they got sons. Gods got sons. The fallen angels came and got sons. So he says he's talking to this guy Ithal and Ucal. This ain't no Israelites. 2, surely I am more brutish. He gonna tell you right there what's going on with him. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and I have not. Look at this. I have not the understanding of a man. See that? He telling you what's up with him. 3, I neither learn wisdom. He telling you ain't got no wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. You don't know nothing about heaven, nothing about Enoch, none of them. So now with his ignorance, then he asked the question. Now you can read it in context. Who have ascended up into heaven or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? And who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? This is how they operate. What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou can tell? Right? Okay, so say, what you talking about? Okay, then he went over here to Genesis chapter 1 and 26. Okay. 1 and 26. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, and over all the earth, and over every creeper thing that creeps upon the earth. So my question is, who is this us? That's with Yahweh. Hello?
Say it again.
Genesis 1:26. Who is the us in Genesis 1:26?
The angels?
Right. That's 7 angels. Okay, so then he went from there. So you see how thorough he is? Okay, now we're gonna go to chapter 10, chapter 11. He said it was, what he was dealing with, what the verse he was trying to quote, he said it was in Genesis 12. That's a sign right there. You don't know what he's talking about, but let's go right here. Chapter 11. He said chapter 12. Chapter 11, verse 4. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the whole earth was one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick and stone and slime for mortar. And they said, let us build us a city and a tower whose top will reach unto heaven. and let us it says, and let us make a name for, and let us scatter, unless we be scattered abroad of horror. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men had builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing be restrained from them which they have imagined. Then verse 7 is where he wanted to go to. He says, go to, this is the Lord, go to, let us go down, and there confound their languages, that they may not understand one to another. So this is us right here in chapter 11 and 7, is the same us in Genesis 1:26. So like I was saying before, you have to be prepared for that, because of, he really think that he didn't him somebody up when he went to Proverbs 30 and 4. But it's obvious they don't have no understanding.
So I have a question. So in Genesis 11, is that the Lord of hosts talking to the other 6 angels?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Okay.
The reason why we know it's Yahweh is because this is where he gave Mount Zion to him at. This when the earth was divided up.
Okay.
Right. So go to Genesis. Go to Genesis chapter.
Okay, that's when the angels were scattered. Okay.
Right, the 70 angels. 70 angels.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was just trying to find this right. It says, okay, yeah, chapter 10, verse 24.
10 and 24. Okay.
Yeah. It says, and Eber was born 2 sons, and the name of one was Peleg, and in his days was the earth divided. That's when he divided it up between the sons of God, the angels, and saying his brother name was Joktan. So that's when it was divided up, and Michael received Mount Zion, that whole area.
Okay.
Right. So that's where he dwells at. Like Isaiah said, the Lord of hosts that dwells at Mount Zion. So he left. How you know this ain't Yahweh? He left from his habitation and went to Egypt and delivered the Egyptians and brought them back to where he lived at, to Canaan, to Mount Zion.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so with that being said, let's say I'm gonna get out of this. Let me get out of this. Yeah, so when you understand that, so he's saying that even if you don't have an understanding who that is in 126 and who that is in Genesis chapter 11 and 7, all you have to do is go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew right quick. Matthew chapter 3. Chapter 3, verse 15. 2 and 15. Let me know when you get it.
Okay.
So 2 and 15 says, this about this story of Jesus. Say, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled. When he say it might be fulfilled, you got to go back to the Old Testament, which was spoken of by the Lord, by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son, right here. So if what he just read in Proverbs 30 and 4 is so legitimate and so true, then why would the people that did Matthew this verse chapter 12 and 15 tell you that and it was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which is spoken of by the Lord, by the prophet. He ain't telling you the prophet is saying, out of Egypt I have called my son, but we know who the prophet is. It's Hosea. So let's go back to Hosea and see what Hosea said. So Hosea says, Hosea in chapter 11. Chapter 11, Hosea, verse 1 says, when Israel was a child, so the whole nation, when Israel was a child, the whole nation of Israel, when Israel was a child, then I loved him, called my son out of Egypt. So we got two sons right here. We got the nation of Israel called Egypt. I mean, a nation of Israel, that's the son. And this clown over here, and Matthew is saying that Jesus is his son. So my question is Israel in Egypt? Hello? Was the Israelites in Egypt at any time?
Yes.
When? When was they in Egypt?
Under Pharaoh.
Right. Under Pharaoh, and then he called Moses out and brought Moses and draw Moses to Mount Zion, the mountain where he was at, and gave Moses a charge, and he sent Moses to do what? What did he send Moses back to Egypt for?
Set his people free.
His son. That's what Moses told the Pharaoh. Right. Let my son go, so he can go out in the wilderness and worship me. So here go the son right here. So if you go, he wants to go to Proverbs 30 and 4 like it's so legitimate. Well, why you got to lie over here? Why do Matthew got to lie and say Jesus is the son? If he's so legitimate, why you got to tell this lie right here? Because this is a bald-faced lie. Because Jesus ain't the son. He's not the son he called out of Egypt. Okay. So that's my point is, I mean, even though we already know he off because he's talking about the us in Genesis 1:26 is Yahweh and Jesus. It ain't. It's Yahweh and the 7 angels. So he ready off. And this is where I'm getting tired of. You know, then you making statements and there ain't no platforms to check that. You know, ain't no, you know, just saying some stuff, and you know, you don't even the verses you're going to, you don't even know what they at. No, and this what so many people getting away with. That's what I'm burned out on. Yeah. So anyway, anybody got any comments on that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like his attitude was like, follow what I say, or that's it. You know, I'm cutting it off after this. He goes. So.
Say that again.
His attitude. He had like an attitude.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's another thing. That's another thing. They want to act like they have a certain type of countenance and meager and willing to listen to what somebody else say, but they don't. They already locked in on what they got, and what they got is false doctrine. And then like I said, you can't be dealt with that long for you can't even know you don't even know what a verse is that you want to go to. Come on, how you gonna deal with that? That ain't how the Most High work. Come on, it's so much stuff being uncovered now. The Most High is not going. He's gonna send somebody that he done dealt with. He ain't just send nobody that halfway know what a verse is and he can't go to the verse. It's time out for that. Come on. So anyway, anybody else got any comments? Okay. I'm gonna go to read last Monday I read Isaiah 7 and 8. I'm gonna read Isaiah 9 and 10. And Then we'll talk about it, and might have anything else, we'll close out. I'm in Isaiah. Chapter 9. Okay. It says, nevertheless, the dimness shall not be. Let me see if I read it. Yeah. It says, nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in the vexation, when at first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterwards did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, in the Galilee of the nations. And the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. Thou hast multiplied the nations, and not increased the joy. They joy before thee, according to the joy in harvest, and as a man rejoices when they divide the spoils. For thou hast broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, and the rod of his oppressors, as in the day of Midian. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be the burning and the fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Prince, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it, to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even and forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. Right. So, I mean, everybody on the line was in Christianity at one time, right? Do anybody know what this verse is? Who this verse talking about in Christianity? Anybody know what this verse? Who they told us this verse was in Christianity?
Jesus.
Okay. So, just like I said before, the brother just read that Proverbs 30 and 4, like he did some kind of major statement. I just told you the lie Matthew told. Now let's look at this lie right here. So it says, I showed you in Isaiah chapter 1, it's 4 kings came on during the life of Isaiah. It says Isaiah 1:1, the vision of Isaiah, son of Amos, when he saw what he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzi, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. The first 3 kings was wicked. And we see right here in chapter 7 that Ahaz on the throne. And Ahaz wicked as hell. Then we went into chapter 8, and Isaiah was telling him that the Most High gonna deal with him. And he's gonna deal with him through Isaiah's 3 sons. So then Isaiah passed away. And the next person came on the throne is chapter 9. Ahaz is in chapter 8. We go to chapter 9. The next person to be on the throne is Hezekiah. That's who chapter 9 talking about, the Prince of Peace, Hezekiah. So he says, nevertheless, the dimness shall not be. The dimness is these 3 wicked kings that have been in the land of Israel. Now he says, and when at first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterwards did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan in the Galilee of the nations. The people that walked in darkness, some 3 kings, have seen a great light. That great light is Hezekiah. That's when you go to verse 6, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, the government is upon his shoulders, and it's this righteous son, the covenant he got with David. He's gonna always bring a righteous son. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace, see that? It's Hezekiah. Of the increase of his government, his is Hezekiah, and his peace, there shall be no end. Upon his grandfather, great-great-grandfather, throne, David, and upon his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth and even and forever. Who gonna do it? The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So why is he performing it? Let's go back to 2 Samuel right quick. Why he doing this? 2 Samuel right here, he tells you. I'm gonna pick it up in 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 11. He's talking to Samuel. Samuel's telling David what the Lord of hosts told him. He says, and when thy days are fulfilled, verse 12, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Where's this the Solomon? So what kingdom is Solomon's being established? David's kingdom. Upon the throne of David. Is Solomon sitting upon the throne of David. 13. He shall build a house. Solomon gonna build a temple for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. And I will be his father. See that? I will be his father, and he shall be my son. There go the son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away. Now let's go back and read what I just read in Isaiah 9, verse 6. Same thing. 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. Back then, that son that was given was Solomon. But right here is Hezekiah. It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David, this is the covenant. Lord of hosts doing this, and upon his kingdom to order it, to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. That's who sent Samuel to tell David that he's gonna do just this very thing I just read. So that's two lies. So he's coming reading Proverbs 30 and 4 like it's supposed to mean something. Ain't no son. The creator don't have no son. Because if he did, they wouldn't have to tell these two lies right here. Okay?
Well,
I'm gonna keep going. Any questions? Comments?
I'm just gonna say, you would think he'd get up off his high horse, but the thing that I'm feeling too is if the Lord of hosts don't open them up, the mind, don't if he don't give them divine wisdom, they not gonna get it. I mean, we can talk till we blue in the face to these folks, but
Right.
if their mind is not open to divine wisdom and knowledge, they not gonna get it.
Right. Exactly. Right. Okay. So Isaiah 9 and 8. The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and they have lighted upon Israel, and all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, that say in their pride and stoutness of their heart, the bricks are fallen down, but we will build with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars. Therefore the Lord shall set up the adversaries of Rezin against him and join his enemies together. And the Syrians before, and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel with open mouth. For all this anger, it is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For the people turn not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. Therefore the Lord will cut off from Israel's head and tail, branch and rush in one day. The ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widow. For everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For wickedness burneth, okay, as the fire, it shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle in the thicket of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke through the wrath of the Lord of hosts. Is the land darkened, and the people shall be as fuel of fire. No man shall spare his brother, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Manasseh, Ephraim and Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. In comment. Okay, so I read, try to connect the dot for you right here. It says, verse 20 says, and he said, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. So who he referring to when you understand what's going on, when he talks about Israel, he's talking about the 10 tribes. And Ephraim, which is one of Joseph's sons, is over the 10 tribes. That's one of the boys. If you go back to chapter 7 and verse 1, it says, and it came to pass in the days of Ahaz, David, son of David, is over Judah, over Israel, southern kingdom, son of Jotham, son of Uzi, king of Judah, that Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pecan, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel. So Pecan is a king over the 10 tribes, and he's out of Ephraim. So when you go back, verse 21, Manasseh, this Joseph's other son. That's why Joseph got 2 portions in the land of Israel, because who he was, and he had 2 sons right here, Manasseh and Ephraim and Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. Right? I'm gonna show you what's going on. So this is where the drama started with Israel when they split up. It says Manasseh and Ephraim and Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out. So you say, why are you reading that? Well, let's go to Ezekiel 37. I'm always going to Ezekiel 37. Try to get some clarity. So we're going to resurrect this. These people we're dealing with right here in Isaiah. These are forefathers that's in the grave that I told you Most High is going to raise up in Ezekiel 37. So I'm in Ezekiel 37. We see right there Manasseh and Ephraim, Joseph's 2 sons. They didn't multiply. They didn't came up against Judah. And we know that Judah is the chosen tribe. That's what David come out of. Judah is the head. So we in Ezekiel right quick. Let me get this, man. Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37. I mean, we already dealt with 37 or 1 through 14. This is when he raised the bones up, and he tells you in verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me. Breath came into them. They lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. Now I'm in verse 15. It's the restoration of the united Israel. They was divided back there because Ephraim and Manasseh fighting against Judah. So I'm in verse 15. The word of the Lord came again unto me, talking to Ezekiel. Moreover, thou son of man, take the stick, write it upon Judah. See that? That's why he's saying this, what I'm going to show you. And for the children of Israel, his companion, then take another stick, write upon it for Joseph. See that? The stick of Ephraim. And for all the house of Israel and his companions. These 2, this is the reason why Israel was split up behind Ephraim and Judah. 2 heads. One of them out of Jacob, and the other one out of Joseph. So 17, and join them one to another in one stick. and they shall become one in thy hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, that's what we're doing right now. When the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, will thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Well, that's what I'm going to do. 19, say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and I will put them with him, even the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one stick in my hand. And the sticks there wherein thou writest shall be in thine hand before thine eyes, and say unto them, thus says the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. See that? That's us. Whether they be gone, and I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king over them all, and they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. So, two reasons why I read that, because you keep on hearing back to the misunderstanding of the Israelite is they keep on saying black on black crime. Well, we know these Judah is over here. Well, I just showed you they ever since they split up, they've been at odds. The average person don't even know that the 10 tribes came up against Judah and fought with them. So that's been going on all the way up to today. And they keep hollering about why we can't get along. And all these so-called leaders trying to fix something that they can't fix. Most High gonna fix it right here. Right here. He says right here. Let me read it again. 37 and 19. Say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I, the Lord of hosts, will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick. And they shall be one stick in our hand. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, Obama, none of them can fix that. Lord of hosts gonna do it. So out of ignorance, you steady quoting and trying to do something, and that's how you know Esau has sent them. Because if you're supposed to be a leader over Israel, you ought to know this. You see, it's wait upon the Lord. He's gonna do it. He done told you in 3 or 4 different situations. Let me read them right quick. He says, I just read it in Isaiah. Isaiah 9 and 6. He says, the zeal of the Lord of hosts. Let me read verse 7. Of the increase of the government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and justice from henceforth, even and forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So Obama and Malcolm X and them and West, Kanye West and all them can't fix that. He told you he gonna do it. Give you one more. Ezekiel 37 says, verse 12, Ezekiel 37, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus says the Lord God, behold, O my people, I will open up your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves, bring you into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have opened up your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall you know that I, the Lord, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord. So there ain't nothing nobody can do. These Illuminati bankers, they can't even can't do it. He says he gonna do it. At the appointed time, he gonna do it. So to be whining and complaining and murmuring about that, it means you got a lack of understanding. Okay? Ain't that something? Okay. Let me see if I think I finished Isaiah 9. I'm gonna cut it off right there. Okay, let me see where I'm at. Yeah. See how much I got over here. Okay. Yeah. So anybody got any comments or questions from last couple of days that came up while they was in when the bed or when they woke up? Something came across their mind? Anything that they want to answer or talk about?
I'm outside, so I don't know if y'all can hear me. It might be windy. But like what you were just saying, I mean, I think that's kind of why I'm okay with I don't even watch the trial of the policemen and or any of the things that's going on that keeps happening. Because, like you said, the Lord of Hosts is in control of all of that.
Right.
And when he says it's time to stop it, it's gonna be stopped. And it ain't,
right.
It's not nothing to worry about.
Exactly. They keep on saying the 400 years up, but we still dealing with the curses. How they up? If we still dealing with the curses. We saw when we was dealing with the Passover, he said when the 400 their time appointed in Israel was up, the self same day he brought them out. So that's how he operate. So we still over here, we still dealing with the curses. We still getting shot in the streets. The 400 years ain't up. We still here. He don't. The 400 years gonna pass, and then we gonna still be 2-3 weeks or 2 or 3 months after that. No, this day that the appointed time comes, it's the same day we leave here. That's how you operate. So to say that, it's a lack of understanding. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, that's we had about 1:15.
Yeah.
Somebody got something?
Yeah, I just want to tell you, there's an old song. I'm telling this to you. I mean, I know other people hear me, but Tina Marie is singing a song. It's Deja Vu something. Listen to the words of what she's saying in that song. I know you probably heard it before. It's an old song, but it sounds like to me somebody black wrote that song. Now you know Tina Marie.
Right. Tina Marie?
Yeah, Tina Marie.
Okay.
But yeah, listen to the words of that particular song, and then comment when we have class again, please.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Keep this on this line. Yeah, I see everybody Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.